Let us start on the news regarding Peter Obi, the latest from the African Democratic Congress. Related to Peter Obi, the spokesperson of the coalition political party, of the coalition's political party, Bolaji Abdullahi, is quoted as saying that the ADC has no anointed presidential candidate. Without mentioning Peter Obi, it is obviously related to Peter Obi, who is widely expected by right-thinking Nigerians, by Nigerians who desire North-South and zonal justice, to be the presidential candidate of the ADC. So Bolaji Abdullahi is affirming and confirming, publicizing the position of the ADC that there is nothing like North-South justice or zonal justice. The party has no anointed presidential candidate. So don't expect justice from ADC. That is the meaning. Don't expect any North-South or zonal justice or any form of justice for that matter from the ADC. That is what it means. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is a clear message to Peter Obi, as I keep repeating, that Atiku Abubakar, who initiated the coalition, did not do so for Peter Obi, but for himself. And he did not buy the ADC, African Democratic Congress, for Peter Obi, but for himself. So, if you look at the coalition, it's composed mainly of those assembled by Atiku Abubakar. So, if Peter Obi will not deceive himself, he should, as I keep saying, form his own coalition. No two ways about it. And I urge Nigerians to support him because he represents North-South justice and zonal justice. And without justice, we are deceiving ourselves before God, our Creator, and fellow human beings. No two ways about it. Where there is no justice, you cannot expect peace or progress. No more, no less. So, all those politicians, be it in the ADC, who support that the presidential candidate of the coalition cannot be limited to a particular person, is to create confusion in favor of the organizer of the coalition and the owner of the ADC, Atiku Abubakar. And I know that no reasonable Nigerian will vote for Atiku Abubakar because he is doing to the ADC what he did to the PDP, period. But again, somebody must take initiative. He took initiative to form the coalition and to buy the ADC from a Southeasterner like Peter Obi, like from an Igbo, Nwosu, like an Igbo, like Peter Obi, where Peter Obi hails from. And he has supporters in the likes of Kenneth Okonkwo, not to mention any other person. And he has put himself on the same plane with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has supporters in the southeast. In Peter Obi's southeast. And his opponents, the APC members in Igbo land, are without question for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Some of them in his government, as ministers in his government. So, but Nigerians, the overwhelming Nigerians that are suffering from injustice, really geopolitical and economic injustices, must think of justice if they want a better Nigeria for themselves. That's my message on that. Now, that is the news about Peter Obi. The news from Peter Obi is this, that he has made a promise not to create or operate the so-called office of the First Lady. That is not going to do that. And I clap for him. But I also remember that before getting power, Muhammadu Buhari promised not to operate the office of the First Lady. But on getting power, pressure from the likes of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who knew that he was going to succeed Muhammadu Buhari, discouraged him and imposed on him First Ladyism, started by Mariam Babangida since the military days, since the military era of Nigeria. So what is the office of the First Lady? We copied our presidential system from America. Does America talk of office of First Lady or part of corruption in Nigeria? Corruption that is retrogressing Nigeria and making her to be unprogressive, with worsening mass abject poverty. Office of the First Lady. Who elected the First Lady? Imposed on Nigeria in the same way that the war against the Boko Haram Muslim community has been imposed on Nigeria. Herdsmen terrorism imposed on Nigeria. Fraudulent fuel subsidy imposed on Nigeria. Removal of subsidy from basic necessities of life imposed on Nigeria. So, Nigeria is doomed. So, if Peter Obi promises to not to operate the so-called office of the First Lady, that's a plus for him. But he must remember that Muhammadu Buhari likewise promised, but did not fulfill the promise. So the mess, religious, political, and economic, is much. So that is the news on Peter Obi and the news from Peter Obi. Now my message to Peter Obi. I commend him for saying he will not operate the office of the First Lady because it's not the right thing to do. Now, I want to tell him to talk about politicization of Christianity and Islam in a nation which constitution prohibits state religion expressly. There shall be no state religion. But now Christianity and Islam have been imposed as Nigeria's religions. Including funding pilgrimage boards and subsidizing pilgrimages, making Islam and Christianity Nigeria's raison d'etre. Peter Obi addressed that one also. Beyond all of that, I am urging poor Nigerians not to go the way of governors and legislators decamping into the All Progressives Congress with the situation of things on ground. War against Boko Haram Muslim community since 2009 till date. Herdsmen terrorism since 2009 till date. Unabated corruption, to which President Bola Ahmed Tinubu added fuel subsidy is gone. All other subsidies are gone, leading to the economic mess. Children dying in hundreds from malnutrition. Adults becoming skeletons of themselves. Nigeria's economy in shambles. All subsidies are gone, yet sinking Nigeria in debts. Hardly is any project not tied to one loan or another. Even worse than Tinubu's predecessors, who did not declare fuel subsidy is gone. All other subsidies are gone. So on what basis will anybody be decamping into the All Progressives Congress other than ulterior motives? Motives of self-aggrandizement, as it were. So Nigerians, don't sit on the fence. Peter Obi needs his own coalition, and that is not for Peter Obi alone. He needs the goodwill of political actors who have not decamped into the ADC or APC. Yes, both of them, to rally around Peter Obi for Nigeria's success. And that Peter Obi should open his ears to listen to what people like me are saying about politicization of Islam and Christianity as a huge minus for Nigeria. Because you can't take away from it that the war against the Boko Haram Muslim community, ravaging human lives and the economic resources of Nigeria, are tied to Islam. Herdsmen terrorism is tied to the Fulani Muslim imperialists. You can run away from that. And all of that, Christian leaders are bribed to support all and sundry. And so they are not protesting. And that's again to tell Nigerians, viewing Christianity and Islam as religions of God. Our fathers, our ancestors did not carry religion on their head. Religion was not the keynote of their life, but karma. What you sow is what you reap. And what grants you the grace to do the right thing is God, not religion. So those shouting religion is supreme. Religion is what God will ask when we get to heaven. I mean, look at that. Look at that. In addition to taking it from our ancestors, I also take it from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 13. That three things will last: faith, hope, and charity. And the greatest of them is charity. And Jesus of Nazareth says the weightier matter of the law is kindness and mercy to your fellow human beings. He didn't say religion. The weightier matter of the law is kindness, mercy, consideration for your fellow human beings, because what you do to others will come back to you. That is the essence of life. Religion is not the essence of life. Many people have faith in God without belonging to any religion, because they see religion as a human enterprise for what it is. And you can see traditional Africans, not the modernized one of Ìṣẹ̀ṣe in Yoruba land, didn't carry religion in there. Outside of festival, annual festival, the rest is prayer for God's protection, for God's blessing, going and coming in their undertakings, in their going to sleep and in their waking, in their going and coming of life. Prayer, not religion. They didn't turn religion to daily preoccupation, as in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So those who now want to modernize African traditional religion into another form of Abrahamic religion, so that religion can be our preoccupation and not our life, our neighbor, or God, our creator even. Because they now create the impression that unless you belong to their own religion, you cannot be of God. That all of these crises led America to declare America belongs to God, not to religion. The country of God, under God, not religion. Your religion is your religion. And that is the saying of our ancestors. Okani, lafa eni. Your conscience is your priest. That is a Yoruba traditional saying. It's not different in the rest of Africa. I'm sure of that. Haven't read so much about Africa, from different parts of Africa.